Hello, everyone. Happy Mondays. It's not Sunday today, it's Monday. Monday evening. I think it's an awesome start to the week, the brand new week today. This week, sorry. And we normally have Ask the Drummer on a Sunday, which is ending the week. But today, it's going to be the first day of the week. And I'm really glad because my guest today, he agreed to reschedule today's episode because I was out last night. But anyways, we're starting early because I don't want to keep him too late. He's been really busy today. It's 3 minutes till 8 o'clock here in the UK, which means it's nearly 4 o'clock Tuesday morning in Manila. Hope some of you, my dear friends, are either still up or woke up early to join us live. So, welcome to another episode of Ask the Drummer. Yeah, so I was saying last night I was at the Cindy Lauper gig. It was absolutely amazing. She was like my idol since I was a teenager. And I'm so glad that my guest today said that it's fine to reschedule the podcast so that you can go and see Cindy Lauper. That was so nice of him. And actually, seeing on social media, I can tell that he's one of the nicest musicians around. And he's here tonight. So, my dear friends, please welcome John Roberts.
Hey,
Hey! Hello, John.
you right?
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, not too
Yeah,
bad.
I was saying you've been teaching all day.
Yeah. I've had done quite a few paradiddles today. Yeah, a lot of
Paradiddles,
students.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope you're not too tired.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
You're okay. Yeah, well, thank you so much once again. Because sometimes I feel bad that when I schedule a podcast and then I have to change the date because I'm asking drummers big favors here, and then it's like, oh, can you just like do it another day because I'm going to a gig. So
No, it's totally cool. Yeah.
yeah. Also, I have to say before we continue, I have to say massive thank you and shout out to Vicky Richardson, who's
Yes.
a big fan of the Blockheads, for the introduction because it was her who told me about you.
Yeah. She came to a gig recently, but I didn't see her there.
Oh,
So
you did?
so she messaged. Yeah, we were up. Oh gosh, where were we?
The
Bury or
Met. It's
something.
the Met, yeah, the Met in
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I thought she actually sorry because she posted photos of some of the band members
Yeah.
after the gig. So you weren't there. Were you
I,
already
I
gone?
was I was there, but I just didn't see her. If you
You
know what I
didn't
mean.
see.
There's a lot of people there, and it was a really early finish, like 9:30 or something. So there was still, I don't know, there was still nobody left. If you know what I mean. At the end,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of people hanging
What
around.
time did it start?
8. We do an hour and a half,
Oh,
but normally
see.
we go on 9:30.
Yeah, yeah,
So, but yeah, it was an early one that. So there was just so
yeah.
many people around.
Oh, okay. Because I haven't noticed that some of the gigs actually do start early. Because I went to
Yeah.
one recently. I saw the Real People in Tilsley, and it started at 5 o'clock. I mean, doors opened at 5,
Wow.
and then it all finished by 8. It
Oh,
was
nice.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I could have gone to another gig after that.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, I wanted to say before we start the actual interview that Bliss Danny, I think that's either his or her name, uh, said that it's going to be a treat for me.
Ah.
So because you're Bliss's favorite drummer,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
am really, I'm really looking forward to this one. So,
Great.
anyways, yeah. So welcome to Ask the Drummer, episode 160. Is all about you, John Roberts.
Yep.
So can you tell us a bit of background information about, like where were you born and
Yeah.
what was it like
So,
growing up?
well, I was born in Cheltenham. My family are all kind of, I guess, kind of Gloucestershire, Cotswolds kind of based. But when I was one, my dad got a job down in Fareham in Hampshire, which is kind of a town in between Portsmouth and Southampton. And I've kind of lived down here ever since, really. So I just kind of grew up, went to school, kind of surrounded by music. So my mum sang in a local community choir. My big sister learnt flute. And there's just music on in the house all the time. And then, yeah, and went to school. I've always kind of had drums like in my head, watching Top of the Pops and stuff every Thursday, and music. I guess pop music was a big part of my life when I was younger. So that's kind of where I was. And then senior school I went to, and then got the opportunity to play drums in year 8 when I was 12, in a music lesson, and then it kind of just all took off from there, really.
Yeah. Did you try and learn other musical instruments, or have you always been drawn to the drums?
Just drums, really. I'm very musical. I've got a good ear and stuff, but drums was the only one I wanted to do.
Not the flute, like your sister?
No way. No. That I don't know why, it just wasn't. It's not my thing. But yeah. But what was good with her doing, she was very involved in the senior school, and when she left, I joined the year after, and the head of music kind of really liked her, because she was really musical. So I kind of had an in already to him, and he was really interested in trying to get me involved in music. So he kind of helped me out a lot.
Yeah. Well, looking at the Blockheads website,
yes,
it says that you started playing drums at 12.
Yep,
and
that's correct.
You're already a professional drummer at 14.
Yeah, so the school, sort of. I was, so when I was 12, I started. I got into the school bands. Back in my day, there was just less opportunity or less people playing. So in my school, there was about 1,000 kids, I think. Yeah. And when I started playing drums, the great drummer in the school had just moved on to college, so I was the only guy. So like 13, I was in all the wind bands and the jazz bands and things, and playing for all the school shows and things. Got lessons with a really good local guy who taught me all the reading and stuff like that. And from like the age of 14, I was doing paid gigs, like for either the head of music doing bands outside of school, or sometimes doing shows for like Amdram, like people that do drama, and they put on shows, and that, and I would do like a week of that. So for me, early on, it was to do with the fact that I could read music. I would get it seemed like lots of work, but it was it was good pay, I guess, and a networking thing,
Yeah, and is it true that you're really like doing a lot of travel at 14 playing drums?
Yeah, well,
local.
It was kind of traveling. It was just more local, that south of England. It wasn't. I didn't travel anywhere particularly.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing, because I mean, being paid already at 14.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had the best Walkman you could get, when I was 14. There was nothing else to spend it on. Or I'd buy a new cymbal or something, But yeah, it was really good. And my dear old dad, he would drive me around. He'd pick me up at 11 o'clock at night, from somewhere.
These are all like what you said, like Amdrams and So what about playing like rock music in pubs and things? Did you do that?
Oh yeah, so that kind of came on later. So that was more. Oh gosh, so yeah, I guess I would have been maybe 20 or something.
So like going to pubs.
Yeah, old enough to go to pubs. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get into the more rock side of things till I was a bit older. So I guess I would have done pub gigs like as a teenager, because I went to college. I did a music course at Chichester College, and that was like a pop music course, which was brilliant. And again, there wasn't many drummers compared to the amount of guitarists and singers and things. So I was in
Yeah,
like 4 bands, and I think we had to do like work experience where we would play in pubs and things.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so yeah,
Do you think it's still, is it still the same now that there aren't that many drummers
no,
around?
it's there's
There's
definitely a lot
guitarists.
more now. There's a lot more
There's a
now. I
lot
don't
more
know.
now. Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if I was just maybe lucky in a funny kind of way. But I guess the thing is with studying music, there's a lot of theory involved, like music theory. So it's not just drumming generally, like on a college level. So
yeah, yeah.
I guess a lot of drummers might have been put off or whatever. Um, yeah, but yeah, for some reason there weren't that many drummers, so it really helped me out because I got to do most things, which was
Yeah.
helps you to grow. It gives you experience and things.
And apparently, you got taught, but you had tuition from some of the masters
Yeah,
drumming, like
yeah,
Bernard Purdy and Thomas Lang. I mean,
yeah,
those are
yeah, yeah, yeah. So in
teachers.
my last bit of education was
Yeah,
Musicians Institute in London, um, which I did in the mid
institute. Yeah,
'90s, and Thomas was one of the tutors there, um, and Bernard Purdy was kind of associated with it,
yeah,
but he came in 2 or 3 times and would give advice and stuff. There was one time I was playing in this band, we were playing Isn't She Lovely, Stevie Wonder, like
yeah,
doing a rehearsal. And Bernard Purdy just walked in, and I kind of, let's just say I wasn't very relaxed at that moment. But yeah, he was great, really nice guy.
yeah. So
Uh,
you actually not because most of the drummers that were on as the drummer, a lot
yeah,
of them sort like say it's just by ear. They didn't even have proper
yeah,
drum
yeah,
lessons. They've
yeah,
just sort of like
yeah,
listened to the song and picked out the drum
yeah,
bits and everything, taught themselves how to play drums. But you're on the sort of like different side because you actually studied it.
yeah.
It, yeah, yeah,
I mean, I got a lot of like it's a lot of energy when you're on a course like that. Everyone's into music and everyone's trying to get better at music, so it just really feeds you.
yeah,
Just being around like-minded people, that want to do the same career. So if anything, that was the best thing about it, was just sitting around. But and yeah, but because of my background, I guess, with all the reading and stuff, until I was 17, 18, I probably wasn't very good at learning by ear. Because I used to just used to have things written down, and then the playing by ear thing came later because it kind of had to. Because then I was in different kind of bands where I had to learn to play by ear without things written down. And the Blockheads, there's no sheet music at all. It's all up here, and so I don't really do many reading gigs at all now. I do with the
that's unusual, isn't it? Because it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the other way around. So.
Yeah, I do with the teaching drums. I read and stuff, and I transcribe things for people. So I've still got it, I guess. But I prefer to perform, if you know what I mean. I'm quite
Yeah.
happy. Not, yeah.
So, what was your first band, like a pop band or rock band?
Oh well, I was in an originals band called Mr. E, with some good friends of mine back early 2000, like kind of like Stereophonics kind of era.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah,
Um, and we were trying to get there, but we kind of didn't. you know. So yeah, that was fun. We did loads of pubs in the local area up in London. Did like
yeah.
unsigned band nights and things like that.
Did you
Um,
have any recording, or did you
yeah,
release
there is. There's
any material?
CDs. There's old school CDs. I don't know where any of it is now.
Oh,
I'll have to. Yeah, I don't think any of it's online. It's pre kind of download era, if you
yeah,
know what I mean.
yeah. But you said
Um,
it's early 2000. But
yeah.
I found out that in 1997, when you were,
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'd say at 21,
Yeah.
um, you were the house drummer in. Now I don't remember this at all. You were the house drummer in the Mag, which is
Yes, yeah, yeah.
a,
So this was my
I think a
first.
music program on Channel 5.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a music thing. So it was when Channel 5 launched
Yeah,
in March '97, and I left the Musicians Institute 6 months before, and I was like delivering pizzas, like doing the odd gig here and there, trying to start a career. And back
yeah,
in those days, you'd get like adverts in the newspaper, and there was an advert in the might be the Southampton Journal or something about young musicians wanting for a TV show.
yeah.
And the good thing was most of Channel 5 was done from Southampton, which is like 10 miles away. So
Oh,
so I went and auditioned. There was no kind of guidelines as to what you do. So I was just like, yeah, I'm a drummer. And my audition was like first thing in the morning on a Saturday.
yeah,
Um, and I was so keen, I just unloaded on this audition, and then went home, and then had some friends that were going for auditions too for it, and you just really wound up, And then that evening, I did have a gig. I had a jazz gig in Portsmouth,
all right.
um, and it was pre-mobile phone for me as well. There was no mobile
Yeah,
phones or anything, and yeah, I did this gig. It was I don't remember much about it other than it was really boring, and I was just. And I got home, and my mum and dad came down the stairs at like 1 a.m. and went, "Hey, Rang, you've got it, you've got it, you've got to go back tomorrow." So that was really exciting. So that was cool. And so what it was it was kind of a teenage magazine show, like a live TV kind of kids teenager show. It's like on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. It was live,
yeah,
and there was a house band. So I was in it. We had a keyboard player, singer, a guitarist, and a bass player,
yeah.
and we would play the theme tune and some stings and things, and then there was a competition for the viewers to come in and jam with the band. So we would, have to learn whatever they wanted to do, and it was, live TV. It was
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah,
cool earpiece doing, cues and proper scripts and things. It was, yeah, like my first proper job, and because of it, I got to play with like lots of really kind of big people. They got lots of like artists who are relevant at the time to come
right,
in and do
yeah,
stuff, and yeah, so that was a big deal, I guess.
yeah. I
And
just don't
really,
remember that program at all. Because when I moved to Manchester in 1996, and I used to watch a lot of TV shows,
yeah,
especially when there's music and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I tried to sort of like freshen my memory about the Mag, so I went on YouTube to search for
yeah,
it and then read up about it. I just don't remember it at all.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I'm pleased it's not out there because I look very different. Yeah, some things are best not online, I think. Yeah,
Because I thought maybe I've actually searched for the Mag TV show Channel 5 House Band, and
yeah.
there's nothing.
No, it's good. It's great. It's good. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I've got it. I've got it on video somewhere. VHS. I've got like loads of them recorded, but I've got nothing to play the videos on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. It was good fun, and yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Well,
And also,
have it digitized and put it on YouTube as well.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But that show didn't last though, because it says that it's only until 2000 and then it finished.
Yeah, well, we only lasted less than a year. Like we basically did pretty much all of '97, and then they sacked the live band. They,
Oh, really?
they did a refresh. Yeah, so we turned up one day, and they're like, "You've got 2 weeks left." It's like, oh, never mind.
Oh,
But you
dear.
know what? It was a good. It still is a good CV thing, and it has helped me get other work. So
Yeah.
it's a good memory. They're great people. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I still meet up with one of the cameramen randomly. This guy, yeah, Dickie, who lives up.
Yeah.
Oh, he lives near Holmfirth. Yeah, so it's yeah, it was a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good experience for you
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. And then you had your first band.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think. like, there must have been other things. Like, I'd forgotten the mag until you mentioned it. There's lots of little things I was doing all the time, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
seasons of things, and you know, um,
Well, you
earlier,
were. It
yeah,
says that you were a session drummer. So
sort of,
yeah,
yeah,
because you joined again from the Blockheads website. You joined the Blockheads in 2001. So it's
yeah.
not
So
really that, there's not much of a from your first band
yeah,
into joining the Blockheads.
yeah.
So
So
what did you do
actually, I
the
wasn't
session
like
drumming?
full time in 2001. I did like my first gig. So Thomas Lang, who we've talked about earlier, he did Jules Holland with them, with the Blockheads. They just after Ian Dury had died, they had Robbie
Oh yeah,
Williams with them and Suggs, I think.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Thomas being like my tutor, he was like my mentor. And I used to hang out and just annoy him and just be around him just to see what's working in the business look like. How do
yeah,
I react around people? How do you be professional? And I remember seeing the Jules Holland and thinking the Blockheads. And because to be honest, I'm a bit young to remember Ian just about Hit Me's always on the radio, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't really remember it. It was so, but I remember seeing that and thinking, you know what, I feel that gig. I get that. I reckon I could do that. Because a lot of the stuff he did was crazy. Like, it was too hard. I'm not saying the Blockheads isn't hard, but I kind of understood it and got it. And anyway, that happened, and then they had a gig. There was a Ronnie Scott's up in Birmingham, which isn't there anymore, and
yeah,
he needed some help, so I used to help him with his kit and stuff. And anyway, I turned up, and they were like having an argument, and apparently they thought they booked him for a certain date, and they hadn't. And there was a main drummer they had, Dylan Howe, who couldn't do that date either. And Thomas was like, well, maybe John, my student, could do it. Like he was just trying to get himself out of a hole. And so I turned up, met them, and they said, oh, can you do a gig next Saturday? I was like, oh, okay. And so I sat there and made loads of notes, like while they were playing. And then I went down to our price the next day, bought all the CDs. Um, and it was pre YouTube, but there was a little bit of internet stuff,
yeah,
because things live are often a bit different than they are in the studio. There was a live album actually that I used, but I trust that they kind of did the tempos more like the originals. So there's all these little things where I'd have like three versions of each song to listen to and just try and figure out a middle ground of all three.
yeah,
So I had a gig. It was a free charity gig. There was no money for me, but I just immersed myself in it for a week. I thought, you know what, this is an opportunity.
yeah.
Um, did the gig, and it went down really well. And then I covered a load of other dates. The main drummer at the time was playing for Gabrielle as well, so she was really big back then. So he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
he was often on tour with Gabrielle, which meant I could then do the Blockheads. And then as he's gone off and done other things, then I got the gig full time. But back then, in 2001, I was like in indie bands, trying to make it,
Yeah,
and thinking, yeah, these guys are great. I'll play with these guys for a bit,
yeah, yeah.
and then that's what's lasted. And it also, because Wilco Johnson was very connected with them as well, so I did lots of gigs with him as well, which I
Alright.
remained adept, and he was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's through the Blockheads, through your
Yeah.
gigs with
Yeah,
Blockheads. That's what
he
got
was at
you.
a gig
What,
watching, and then he
yeah,
also
yeah,
needed a drummer on a gig. And yeah,
yeah,
so there was, I guess, there's a little bit of being in the right place at the right time, but there's also, when you get the opportunity, doing the best job you can, I guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just grab that opportunity and do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's very different from like doing with drumming with a music sheet and stuff. So were
Yeah.
you taking notes and writing it, doing your own thing with the Blockheads, or
No, I
one you
learned it. I,
started? Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
learning by.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look right having a music stand on stage with those guys. It's just not. it's not the vibe. So I just really learnt it in my head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you were talking about like hit me with your rhythm stick and sex and drugs and rock and roll. I just looked it up. You were born in 1976, and these singles were released. These songs they were released like when you were 1 year old or
yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah,
2 years
yeah,
old. So,
yeah. So the band's 1 year younger than me.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
must feel really strange because what was it like when you actually joined them, and then you had to buy all these CDs and listen to
yeah,
them.
yeah. Well,
So
it
yeah,
was just exciting, just that um, yeah, yeah. I can't really remember. They were all really lovely. What's great about them? They're all just such nice guys,
yeah,
and
yeah,
there's no. They're all characters, but they're all really nice, really welcoming, really encouraging, and what they like. Because there's the music, there's lots of different styles in the Blockheads. There's the songs, sometimes it's reggae, sometimes it's funky, sometimes it's punk.
yeah,
um and it's almost like they just want you to be you, so they just wanted me to sound like me. They didn't want me to sound like the other guy. They
yeah,
encouraged me very much to be me.
yeah,
um right, and that was really, really good. Although obviously there's parameters within the parts that you need to get right.
yeah.
Um,
What I wanted to ask you is, were you already a fan of Ian during the Blockheads? But I think you're too young to be a.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I say, I had this album called in the '90s when I left school. Had loads of those kind of songs on it. Sound of the Suburbs, it was called. It was a compilation album,
Right? Yeah, yeah,
and it
yeah,
had 2468 Motorway on it. Had
yeah. It's got
Don't Like Mondays, and
yeah,
Rhythm Stick was on there, and I used to listen to that album all the time. So I did like it, but I didn't know, so I knew that, and I knew reasons to be cheerful maybe, but
yeah,
I had to listen to all the other stuff, but I soon got to like it because it's such great stuff to play.
yeah.
Really cool stuff to play.
Yeah, well, before we carry on, Stuart Kerr, who's a drummer in Friends Again and Love and Money, he said he's seen Ian Dury in 1979 at Gateshead Stadium. He and
Right.
his band were so amazing. You must be a great drummer to have played with all these great musicians. So,
Oh,
yeah, so
that's fine.
yeah, and Andy Phillips said,
Yep. Oh, I know
it's,
him.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I know that guy.
Best live performances you can experience. That's what he said. So,
Oh, that's good.
and yeah, well, I've got a message from someone called Martin Webby.
Yes, I know him as well. It's going to
Oh,
be cheeky. It's going to be a cheeky one.
okay. Well, Martin runs a drumming shop
He
in
does.
Ipswich, and he said that John Roberts is super nice, a really great guy,
Oh,
and one hell of a drummer. Which again, Yorkie Palmer, who's the bass player in Space, and he's a legend in Liverpool. He also said that you're a great drummer, by the way. So
oh,
yeah, but yeah. So Martin Webby said that he is you. Well, it's you. You have made this tool with the Blockheads your own, and that
oh.
was a hard thing to do. He has the utmost respect for you as a player, and this is a bit so like strange for me. When you stretch out, you play some crazy stuff. So I
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I mean, sometimes you get the opportunity for a solo
Yeah.
here and there.
Oh, I see.
You know.
Okay, so stretch out means doing solo.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
it's like,
All right.
yeah.
But his question for you is, what is the worst thing you have found in your bass drum case? That's from Webby. I don't know what that's. Do drummers
Yeah.
usually find strange things in their bass drum case?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I had someone wet themselves on my cases once. Yeah,
No way.
some drunk person. Yeah, after the gig, I was like, my cases are wet, and then I smelt it, and it was
Oh
disgusting.
no! Oh my God!
Yeah, so that wasn't in the case, but it was on the case. That's probably a pretty good one.
Oh God!
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, you always leave them somewhere safe, right? I mean,
well, they're kind of down by there. I think it was more that someone had had an accident rather than it was
Oh,
a
dear.
deliberate attack or something. Yeah, so that was the that was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a strange question though. I mean, what sort of things do drummers
Well,
find?
sometimes like you'll find like a really expensive microphone, like if you've done a gig miles away, and then and there's like a house engineer, and then you're packing up, you go, and then you're 5 hours away from this gig, and you get to another gig 2 weeks later or something, and you're like, flip, this is really expensive, and then you like message that venue, and then at some point you got to try and drop it back. So there's that kind of thing that happens.
Oh,
You have to be careful of. But I've not had anything, no like rats or anything. I don't know what he's thinking, but yeah,
but
yeah,
you know him anyway, so it's
yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah.
Well, Gary Smith just said that John, I watched you play with the Blockheads at Pompeii Guildhall. It
Right.
was a great show, and you're a fantastic drummer.
Oh, that's really kind. A nice local gig, that one for me. I like doing that because I've seen a lot of bands there myself.
Yeah, where's Pompeii Guildhall? Is that in Fareham?
But no, Portsmouth.
Portsmouth. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the band is actually based in the south.
No, we all live all over the country. So our singer, I don't know if you know him, Mike Bennett. I think we're mutual friends on Facebook.
Oh,
He's a Manchester dude. He's involved in Manchester stuff, but
yeah.
he lives in Manchester. Guitarist lives in Derby. Another guy, Basingstoke, Marlow, which is near Oxford, Harlow. What the sax player is the only one left in London.
Okay. How do you practice? How do you do
Well,
your
we don't really very much, but our equipment is all kept near like Northampton way on the A1. There's like a lockup where the crew live and where all the gear's like kept. So it's kind of central for us all to meet there. So when we have rehearsed, we meet there, but we generally just do longer sound checks if there's stuff we need to do. We just get to the gig a bit early and thrash stuff out for an hour. Sound check. Yeah.
You're the youngest member.
Yeah, still. Yeah, that's good.
When I saw a photograph of the Blockheads, you actually stand out.
Yeah, good.
I'm not saying they're all old, but
Yeah.
you really look like
Yeah.
you weren't part of the original Blockheads.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
So what about the fans? How do fans react to you as a new drummer? But you're not really new, because you've been there since 2001, so it's like over 20 years.
I found them all right. I mean, I started doing the gig like full time from 2010ish. And I mean they said kind things. I think they were all right. I mean, I think I've been quite lucky. I know people who have taken on gigs, and there's been a lot of bad comments and things you see. And I think I've been very, very blessed with generally the acceptance that I've had. But I've been doing it so long now that I think everyone's cool with it.
Yeah, you are a member of the Blockheads.
Yeah.
Like part of it.
Yeah.
Because I went to on the Discogs page, the Discogs entry of Blockheads. You've actually done albums.
Yes.
With you doing the drum parts of it. You were credited to the last. I think it's the last two albums.
Yeah.
Blockheads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you do that? Do you do most of when you do your live set? Do you do most of the songs from those two albums because you're a part of it, or is it?
No. So when the albums, like when they're out, when we first release them, you might end up doing 4 or 5 songs off the album, and then what generally happens with the Blockheads is then it kind of peters out to the point where you're not doing any off the new album, and then you do another new album, and then same thing, you do 4 or 5 off that album, and then gradually you end up with doing like 1 or 2. It's just when you're promoting the album you tend to do more. I guess it's like most bands, they I mean you know, they'll have like a greatest hits tour, won't they? Or if
Yeah,
they're promoting an album, they'll do more. But we,
yeah,
you know, the set is, you know, a lot of nostalgia, definitely.
yeah.
So
Well,
even if we are promoting new stuff,
yeah. Well, one thing that I actually sort of like got into conversation with was two weeks ago. There's an American drummer who was on the show, and it's interesting when he was talking about set lists,
right?
because this is something that I've never really thought about before, because he mentioned who, you know, like who's creating the set list, because I thought it was just the singer who'll write down what he or she wants to
Yeah, yeah,
sing
yeah,
that night. And actually he said it takes a lot of preparation.
yeah.
They
It
actually
does.
do the set list like a lot, because sometimes I go to a gig and then one of the band members, or maybe, you know, the guitar tech will write down the songs that they'll be playing that night. So how do you curate your set list when you?
Yeah. So I generally converse mainly with Chaz, who's the songwriter, because it's me that does a lot of the admin. I do all the printing out of the set lists. You know, someone's got to remember, and
Yeah.
that's my job. So you know, it's very much like, you know, like Hit Me's always at the end before the encore and Reasons to Be Cheerful. There's like a run of like 4 hits at the end, but then earlier on, it's to do with the keys of the songs. You know, like you generally don't want two in the same key next to each other, things like that. There's a couple of songs that are segued as well. So with our list, there's kind of like a general map that goes through, and then there's obvious ones to get rid of. But it's very hard because when we put new ones in, no one wants to lose any. There's always someone who wants to keep something. So you like be arguing about which one we lose. You know, like, well,
Yeah.
we need to lose two songs. You know, and that's often the hardest bit, is knowing what to get rid of when you're like, you know, replacing them.
Yeah.
And the same.
So
So
who?
it is kind of a band discussion, really. But I did this thing the other day. I think it was the gig that Vicky was at, where we've had a couple of slight changes recently to the set list, and I printed some out but mixed them up. So there was like, we started this song. Um, got, you know, fans of the band will know Clever Trevor,
Yeah.
but we'd started another one, a new song called Liberty, and half of us were playing that and half were playing Clever Trevor. But the funny thing was, they're in the same key. So it kind of was okay, but it was a complete mistake on my part, you know.
Oh,
But yeah, just like we just mixed, I just put two different set lists out, you know, and
yeah. Yeah.
so it
Oh,
does go wrong sometimes.
and also, I think it's got some kind of a connection with it as well. Do you know when guitarists tune up, like they tune the guitars? Sometimes it takes a long time. Is that something that maybe you can just remove from the set list? That maybe do
Ah,
songs that don't need a lot of tuning up or something? Or I don't know. I mean, I'm not a musician. I'm
yeah.
not.
The
So
guys are good. The guys are good with that. I never noticed that happening actually. That's generally fairly seamless. There might just be one of them's noticed they've gone out at a point where it's never happened before, but they're very quick at just, you know, I keep my, well, and also being the drummer, I start the songs generally, so I do keep my eyes peeled before I start a song,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and literally, if you've got to wait 5 seconds, that's cool, you know, just wait till they, okay, I can see they're
They're all ready.
tuning, or someone's just picked up a drink, you know, to, you know, it's like, yeah, just, so there's often, that doesn't seem to relate to what songs are on the set. It's just at certain times things like that will happen, but they're very
Yeah.
quick. Yeah, they're quite quick like that.
'Cause, I mean, on Facebook, you'll see a lot of memes or so, like where the drummer is waiting for the guitarist to tune up,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and you see a drummer doing crochet things or
yeah,
cooking
yeah.
something. But there's not, you know, you don't get that problem with the blockheads. I mean, you're
No, no,
all
not generally. Technically, things are quite seamless. You know,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think if anything's gone really wrong. Don't think so. I
No,
think we're okay. Yeah, we've not had any like major gear fails or anything on stage, which is good.
yeah, yeah,
Occasionally maybe a string will break, but oh, yeah, that there's always spare guitars and things you can change. You know,
Yeah,
get to the end of the song and then swap a guitar, and then the roadie will then restring it while you're doing that song, and then give it back. So yeah,
yeah. Do you still? Because you're full time. You know, I think
yeah,
you've been full time with the Blockheads
yeah,
since 2010 or
yeah,
2000.
yeah, yeah.
Do you still do session drumming?
A bit, yeah. When I'm asked, so I do. I do all sorts of gigs because I do lots of party band gigs as well. Like weddings and things. There's a couple of agencies that
All right.
put bands together for like corporate events, and I don't know where I am on their list. Maybe drummer number 4 or something, and then they'll email, "Can you do this gig on this date?" And I'll be like, yes or no. And
Oh, I
so I
see.
do. So I call myself a working drummer, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And occasionally, yeah, recordings I get asked to do. Yeah, yeah,
Do you
it's
get
good.
recognized when, say, you do a wedding?
Yeah,
Do you get recognized by people who are there?
no, not really. No,
No.
no, no, no. I just do my thing. I mean, yeah, no,
It's like, oh my god, you're the drummer from the Blockheads.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm just me. Just yeah, just hidden away. Do you
Well,
know what? Actually, when you do wedding gigs, you have to do the first dance and stuff,
yeah,
and often you haven't rehearsed it with the band. You just get an email, right? That's the first dance, and that's actually really where I'd be at my most nervous because it's somebody's first dance, so you want to make sure it's right. So that can actually be quite. Well, I find it quite, yeah, quite scary. That
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
How do you
I mean,
prepare for it?
yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, I have to prepare for it, yeah, and
But
sometimes you have to run backing tracks and things as well with it,
yeah,
so playing with a click and stuff like that. Um, yeah, but a lot of the songs I know, I've been drumming forever, so there's not many songs that I don't know. If that doesn't sound too, I don't know, too confident, but
yeah.
most songs that are on a set list, it might be get an email with like 25 songs on, and there'll just be 3 that I need to learn or something.
Oh, okay.
And I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do that when I'm in the car or something, just stick them on and you just learn it in my head.
Learn it. Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you ever get the Blockhead songs for weddings?
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not really that vibe. I think I might have played "Hit Me" at a party or something at some point, but
Yeah.
people always want to play it too fast, so I hate it. It's like, no, it's not that quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I also noticed that you played drums for Kathy Dennis.
yeah. Well, she came on that TV show that I was talking to
Oh,
Mag.
the
So
Mag.
she was
Yeah.
delivering. She was not delivering. She was promoting. She did a cover of Waterloo Sunset.
All
We
right.
did like a mime with her or something. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's part of her promotional thing. Yeah. So she had like a mini comeback in '97.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's really shy. She was very sweet, but she's very very shy.
Really. I
Yeah.
love Kathy Dennis.
But she's done a lot since then. She's written for some big people, hasn't she?
Yeah. 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 I hope she'll do like shows.
Yeah.
Because Betty Boo, she's doing shows. I think, or she's got a new album out. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen all
Kathy
that
Dennis.
stuff. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Same kind of era. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jamie Heron
Oh
said,
no. Yeah.
another
Yeah. Go
friend.
on.
Well, he said that John and I go way back to primary school, and I've feared for his safety since binge watching Spinal Tap. Great to see, great to see he hasn't exploded yet. Stay safe,
Oh.
John.
Oh. Yeah,
I
Jamie's a
love
great
that
guy.
film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
We've known
love
each other
Spinal
since we
Tap.
were 7, I think.
Oh,
Yeah. 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 He was a bit of a character at school.
is Jamie a drummer as well, or no?
No. No.
No, no.
Um,
Okay.
but he would have been there in the early days when I was first trying it all out. He would have been,
Yeah,
yeah, around. Yeah.
yeah. So, so you binge watch Spinal Tap?
Um.
Is that what he's?
Well,
Is
not
that
really. I have
no?
watched it. Yeah. 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 Exploding drummers and stuff. Nothing terrible like that's happened just yet.
You recently had a sold out gig in Norwich.
Yes.
You posted some photos, and that was
Yeah.
good. And your next one is going to be in Deal, which is the
Yeah.
15th this
That's
month.
next to Dover. That is. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's going to be
actually,
a
yeah.
special one because we've got Topper Headon coming down.
No way.
Yeah. He comes and plays congas because he lives down there.
Do you know, I had to Google Deal because I have no idea where it is. It's in
It's next
Kent.
to Dover. You know Dover, where you get the ferry
Yeah,
to
yeah,
France.
yeah.
Yeah. Come
Oh
down
my,
if you're around on
oh
Saturday.
no. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wish I could just sort of like go and quickly. Oh, so he's
Yeah.
gonna be there?
Yeah. He's
Top
going to
of
be there.
be
He
there.
gets up on congas and plays with us. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
He's a good friend. He's a really good mentor. Actually, he's a good guy. Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
So he doesn't always go with the Blockheads. Like, say
No.
you're
He turns
drawing.
up whenever we're near Dover. He'll turn up because that's where he lives.
Oh my God.
So and occasionally he might come to a London gig. So
Yeah.
like once a year we see him.
Oh my God. That's absolutely
Yeah. Yeah. He's
wow.
yeah. Because for me as well, like with that, you see the Clash is also a bit before my time, but they had a comeback in '91. I think they had a jeans advert like, should I stay or should I go?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
that's right. Yeah.
two or three of their songs were then re-released, and then I kind of used to practice along with all that stuff. Yeah.
Do you get starstruck?
Do what?
Do you
Sorry.
get starstruck? Do you get starstruck like with Topper? You know, the first time you met
Sometimes I've met Topper. I don't. He's just so welcoming and nice, and sweet. But yeah, I have been starstruck. I met Sting once, somewhere like in Newcastle, and I just didn't know what to say to him. I went, "Hi, I'm John, the drummer," and he went, "I know," and then that was the end of the conversation. Yeah, I didn't know what to say.
wow.
Yeah, so yeah, I do get starstruck. Yeah, and I always say goofy things that I think, why did I say that? And yeah, I do, but not with Topper. Topper's very well. I know him now anyway. So
Yeah.
it's all cool. He accepts me for who I am.
Well,
Yeah.
Stuart Kerr, he said that Topper is his hero. So there
Oh,
you
great.
go.
Yeah. No, he's one of my heroes too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Oh
was really
wow.
sweet, actually. He was really lovely in the lockdown, COVID. He'd ring up every, I don't know, once a month, just check I was okay. He was going, "Oh, it's a terrible time for musicians, isn't it?" And he'd ring out, "Are you all right? Is your family all right?" And yeah, he's a really good guy.
Oh wow. That's amazing. That
Yeah.
is so good. Wow. So being the drummer of the Blockheads,
Yeah.
do you get like a special pass to meet? Say you wanted to meet some musicians or that you like.
Not really. So yeah, no, I'd have to just know someone on the team, So if you're at a gig or something, I'd have to like have a connection.
When you met Sting, I mean, was it just because you're in the same?
Yeah, I was just in the same hotel as him. I was doing some work, and he
Oh,
was there. Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
I knew he was there, so I was I was kind of around him, But yeah, I just didn't know what to say. I was sat there going, what do I say? And I just thought I'd just leave it, just say nothing. Yeah.
What about photos? Do you ask for photos?
Generally, yes. I'm a real selfie kind of guy. I like selfies, but
Yeah.
it depends who you're working with and what impression you want to give. If I'm trying to be really professional, and then I probably wouldn't, because
Yeah.
I'd want to look like I'm cool, rather than a fanboy. I don't know. Yeah, but generally, yes, I'm pretty shameless with the selfies.
What
Yeah.
about with Blockheads though? Are you okay with fans coming up to you and saying, "Oh, can I have a photograph?"
Yeah.
Like,
I am, and they're all really lovely, and sometimes people want sticks, and things. And then there was one we did Southampton, nice local one for me week, 10 days ago, and there was this lady in the audience, and
Yeah.
she was talking to me. Oh, you always give me a drumstick. Do you remember? And I was trying to remember. And she went, oh, I remember you've got a newborn daughter, haven't you? And I was like, mate, she's 13. So like, so my memory was struggling because it was 13 years ago. But so sometimes, yeah, there's a lot of people I know, like, and then certain towns, certain people coming, and
Yeah.
there's certain gigs that wouldn't be right if the certain fans weren't there. But then there's some people that, years go by and you're like, I recognise the face, I just can't place you. But yeah, I'm totally cool with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about the other band members? Are they okay with the fans?
Yeah. They're all really, they're all really sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
They always got, a lot of time for people, and after the gig we don't generally rush off or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go out and meet the fans and say hello, sign a few things and stuff.
Sometimes don't fancy it. Sometimes we just stay in the dressing room. But I mean, they're generally there for the old boys. So sometimes just let it happen.
Yeah. Well, when I was writing my script for this evening, so I googled the name.
Very professional.
I googled John Roberts.
Yes.
Did you know that there's actually another?
Yeah.
Called
and he's
John
better
Roberts?
than me as well. That guy. Yeah.
Well, he's got Lil in front of his name, so it's Lil John Roberts.
Yeah.
From Philadelphia, and apparently he's like a highly sought after R&B jazz drummer.
Yeah. I've not, to be honest, I've not looked into his playing for a long time, but maybe 20 years ago I did, because he's been around same kind of time as me, I guess. So, but yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah. He's very good. Yeah.
So when you go to America, do you sometimes get, oh, John Roberts?
Yeah.
The Blockheads are actually touring this year. You do a lot of gigs. You'll be doing a lot of gigs this year as well.
Yeah, it's normally around 30 gigs a year we've worked out.
Oh, really?
So it's like maybe I think we like to say like 3 a month is where we're where it kind of works as a business. So sometimes that can be 8 in one month and none in another, but on average it kind of works out. But we don't do tours as in we have a coach, go on a tour bus for 2 months and go away. It's more commuting to gigs, but that kind of suits me better because I've got a family and stuff, and
you teach as well, don't you?
Yeah. So I've got like a drum teaching thing going on as well, so it all kind of fits together really well.
Yeah. I've noticed that two of the gigs at I used to call it Barnoldswick until I went to that place, and they said it's Barlick. You pronounce that town Barlick, not Barnoldswick. So
we call it Barnoldswick as well.
Yeah. No, it's Barlick. The locals say it's Barlick.
So that gig is either side of our little Scottish run. So we're doing Scotland, and then we're doing Barnoldswick either end.
Yeah. Well, two of those, both of them are sold out.
Yeah.
Those gigs, it's a brilliant venue. I have been there only once, and I really liked it. I really liked the place. But all the other dates that you're going to be doing is on the Blockheads website. So anyone who wants to go and see the Blockheads. Yeah,
it might need updating. I think there's some missing. I think there's a bit more than there is on there, but I'll look at that later.
Well, so are you the one who?
I don't actually, but I keep an eye on things like that. But it could be that it's up to date. I haven't looked recently.
I can't see any sort of like Manchester. I know you did the Met.
We're doing Holmfirth. Do you know Holmfirth?
Oh yeah. I have heard actually. I know that it's a famous venue, but I haven't been to Holmfirth. So maybe I should do it. Because I was trying to look for dates because as you know, I go to a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
Sometimes, gig clashes are, for me, it's like really, really upsetting because it's like, oh my God, why is it not on the date that I'm free? It was like being at the same time, hopefully I'll get to see the Blockheads
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
But fingers crossed, somewhere
Yeah.
near. I wish I could go to Deal so that I could go and see Topper Heaton as well.
Yeah. It's worth cancelling whatever you've got, surely. Yeah.
I'll work. This
Yeah.
I'm working, so well, next time I'll keep an eye out for more Deal
Yeah. I'll let
gigs.
you know when he's appearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Andy Phillips said, "Is it too late for demo, or are the neighbors in bed?"
Oh gosh.
And
It's not too late, but yeah. But it's kind of mesh, my drum kit. It doesn't
oh,
make, yeah, so it's not going to sound great. Yeah.
well, Andy said, "We'll hope to catch up again soon."
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and Jamie Heron said, "I second that. Make some noise, John."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what was I gonna ask you? You do I mentioned that you do drum tuition, or is it a school? Was it a school or the one?
Yeah, I teach in a couple of schools, yeah, doing like
Okay.
drum kit lessons. So I'm like the drum teacher that goes in and teaches the people who want to learn drums, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone can play it? Anyone can play the drums?
Yeah, I think oh, that's a really good question. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, I think in all the years I've done teaching, there's only one parent I've had to ring up and say it's not happening. You know. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you can get something out of, you know, pretty much anyone. Yeah. I mean, but there's varying different talent and ear and things like that and coordination.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, it's I guess it's one of those things. It's like a right. If someone wants to learn an instrument, they should be able to. So you know, sometimes you have to just try and find a way of making it work, if that makes sense.
But don't you think? Because I've always believed that it's got to be in you. It's got to be that because I have tried it myself. I did go for lessons, but I'm probably the one that you have to ring up the parent. It's
Yeah.
not for her at all.
Yeah, maybe you just weren't going slow enough. You know, a lot of people try and go too fast when they first start things, and if you slow it down, you know, it then comes. Yeah, but there is
So
the ear thing. You know, like so when you get people to play along with a song, some people just can't hear it. You know, they just it's as if the song isn't on. They're just playing, and
yeah,
then you get the ones that they're in time and they can hear it, and I guess those ones would be the ones that would go on and do more things with it, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. I think
Like,
with me, it's just because I'm more into watching the drummers.
yeah.
I'm fascinated by the way they play.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it myself because I think it's also because they look so cool.
Yeah.
Don't you think drummers look so cool?
Yeah.
When I was trying to learn it, I just look a bit awkward. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's not cool enough for me. It was like, so. But anyways, so you think anyone can just do it if they maybe.
Well, not. Yeah. I mean, with some work, yeah, everyone can get something out of it. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, there's people that are out there that I'm never going to be able to do what they can do. You know, some of the technical players, you know, and I'm never going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? But I can still make a living out of it.
So, but I mean, as someone who can actually read
Mm-hmm.
drum
Yeah.
sheet music and stuff, that's really amazing. Because not, I mean, okay, maybe there are lots of drummers who can actually read sheet music, but not all the drummers can do that.
No. And
That's
in
more
a
sort of
funny kind of way, a lot of the best musicians I know can't read whatever the instrument is. You know, they've just got amazing ears and they just hear it and play it. You know, so
yeah.
I mean, reading's a skill I use, but you know, yeah, and it's good that I've got it, but it's and I guess it's helped. It helped me early on actually to make a living. Yeah.
Yeah. And you
and
use it to teach your
yeah,
students as well.
yeah. Like some of them want to do exams and things, and there's a book, and So yeah. But I try and teach my students both ways, to read and then to play by ear. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is there a new? Are you recording at the moment as well? Is there a new album coming out from the Blockheads?
No, we've got a new single coming out soon, like a double A side thing.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, it's a bit like like when Hit Me came out.
Yeah.
It's like really funky, and then there's quite a quirky B side which I can't say the name of here. You could Google what was on the B side of Hit Me. It's kind of like a comedy, and with the new single, the song's called Liberty. It's really funky and peace and love kind of thing. And then there's a B side which is kind of a comedic song about all the mishaps that our singer has, and it's
Oh,
yeah, and so it reminds me of that kind of thing.
when is it gonna be out?
The single should be out in a week or two.
Yeah. Is that on physical, like vinyl and CD?
It will be. It will be on vinyl, ready for the record shop day. Is it record store day? Is that coming
right.
up?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be the plan. The plan would be that it would be on vinyl for then. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that's the side of it I don't deal with, but I think that's what's happening. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. I haven't actually looked at the list for Record Store Day properly. I have seen it. Someone posted it, but I just had a quick
I think
glance.
it's March, is it, or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Or is it March or April? But anyways, yeah. It's coming out. It'll be soon, and they have released all the list of RSD releases for this year.
Oh, okay.
So one of them is going to be yours.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, well that's something to look forward to because I actually try. I always say every year that I'm not going to do Record Store Day because it's like, I mean, some of them prices are just outrageous. I mean, it's so expensive and everything. I think there's quite a lot of 12-inch singles that's being re-released,
right?
Because I've seen some of my friends posting about it, but yeah, I'll keep an eye out for the Blockheads.
Yeah,
cool. I would like to get a copy of that one. And I really have to make sure that I go and see you someday.
Yeah.
Do you twirl when you play?
When I was 15, I did. I do, maybe. I mean, I can, but sometimes I might if there's like a stop or something. I don't twirl while I'm playing, if you know what I mean, in terms of while I'm holding a beat down.
Yeah.
But I might like in a little stop or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe when you're waiting for the guitarist.
Yeah. It's probably like a nervous thing, like if I'm just sat nervous, then I'll, it's something to do. I'd probably be doing it now if I had a stick in my hand.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What about point? Do you point?
No. Gosh,
You don't?
no, that's not cool. What, pointing at the audience?
I think that is cool. I think.
Do you? No. That's.
It's almost like acknowledging and
right. Okay.
appreciating the fans out there.
Right.
You point.
Okay. Maybe I'll bring that in. Yeah.
No, I just like all these things because whenever I go to a gig, I want to make sure that I position myself. I go early. I always go early so that I can position myself where I can see the drummer.
Yeah.
I always just make sure that I can see them, and sometimes you see them, they're just concentrating and not really, not engaging with the fans.
Yeah.
I think because they're also way at the back anyways, that maybe there's no reason for them to engage with the fans, but sometimes you see them and they do. Either they point.
Yeah. I'll smile and stuff and look at people, and I engage with the band on stage for sure. But well, sometimes I'm so far hidden I can't see the fans, the audience,
But
so.
I think it would be better to have the drummer at the front. Because they used to do that. They used to do that in in the 60s.
Yeah, 60s, Top of the Pops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'd be up for that. Yeah.
I think that should be something that they should bring back the sort of like the drummer to the front of the stage, and then.
Yeah.
Anyways, Alison Phillips said, "Hope to see the videos that you filmed at Southend for the new singles. One of your best gigs I've been to."
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
going to be an accompanying video for the new single.
Yeah. There will be. Yeah. Yeah, that might come a bit after the single. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
good.
my understanding.
Yeah. So it's like a live.
Yeah, like a live video. Yeah, from one of the gigs we did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Um. What about drumming heroes? Do you have any drumming
Oh,
heroes?
yes. Drumming heroes. Oh, so I really like. Well, starstruck me, Sting. So Stuart Copeland, Vinnie Colaiuta. I like all those kind of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like how they
Have
play.
you met Stuart Copeland?
No, I should have done. He did a talking tour like end of last year, and he was really local. And someone had even messaged me 6 months before to say he's doing it. I just never got round to getting tickets, but I wish I had. Just I struggle with going to gigs actually because I do gigs, and sometimes the last thing I want to do is go to a gig.
Oh.
That sounds wrong maybe, but so like booking things like that, it's like, yeah, I'll get round to it. It doesn't really compute for some reason. But no, I would love to have met him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's coming back.
Is he?
He's doing one in something spa. I can't remember now, but it's somewhere. He's only doing one date this year. So far.
Well, I'll check it out then. I'll get onto that.
Yeah, because it was the same with me. Although last year because he did one in Sale, which is not far from me.
Yeah.
I wanted to go, but then when I looked at the ticket prices, I just thought, oh.
Was it a lot? Was it?
Do I really want to pay that much?
Yeah.
Because he's not playing.
No,
he's
just talking.
Only doing a talk.
Yeah.
Paying over £100.
Oh wow.
For the meet and greet, it's like, no, it's too much. I'll just
yeah. Well, especially the amount of gigs you go to, I guess.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of money for me. But I would love to. Any others like drumming heroes?
Man, I find that really hard. Clem Burke, Blondie. Clem from Blondie.
Yeah, Clem Burke. Yeah.
He's always great. Real showman.
Yeah.
Big influence on me, definitely. Yeah.
Because you're younger than me. Considerably younger than me. So you're so like generation, you're probably more of the Britpop.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The Stone Roses. What about the Stone Roses?
Yeah. No, obviously I was I lived through that, but I'm trying to think inspiration in that period. I'd go 10 years earlier, definitely. Yeah, great songs though. I like Britpop's cool.
Yeah.
It's big, it's part of my life. That's very much when I was studying the Britpop kind of time. Yeah.
Is it difficult for someone because you're so much younger and your influences is so different from the other members of the Blockheads?
Yeah. That doesn't seem to. No, we kind of. I don't know, when you're just chatting and stuff, they know that if they need any 80s and 90s pop trivia, they ask me. And if I want to know what musician played on what in 1960 something, they'll know. So we just help each other out with knowledge. Yeah. It's not a struggle. It's just banter,
Did they treat you as like the baby of the band or like,
not anymore. They used to. When I was first doing it, I was like 25, like the first gigs I did. But no, they're good. I mean, I'm generally kind of doing a lot of organising and, I don't know, sorting out booking hotels and doing some of the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
organisation stuff. So I don't know, that kind of puts me in a,
Charge of everything, and
yeah, in charge of bits of it. Definitely, I'm not the boss by any means, but I have a responsibility. So I don't know, yeah. I
yeah.
don't know if I'm looked on as annoying. I just go, well, that's what we're doing. That's where we're staying, and you know, yeah, yeah. I don't
Do you
know.
handle the finances as well, the money side of it, just to make?
Not really. I am no. Mickey does that, the cue ball player, but I deal with the agents a lot with the bookings of the gigs and the amount, of for what the gigs are. So a little bit I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you mentioned earlier that you're the one who deals with the set list. So
yeah,
when I come and see you, I have to make sure that I speak to you about getting a set list after the
yeah, yeah,
gig.
yeah. You definitely have one. I just have to make sure they're all the same on that gig. Yeah.
What about accidents or disasters? Have you ever had any? I mean, you've been playing since you were 12. Have you ever had any drumming accidents or drumming disasters, as I call
Oh
them?
yeah. Do you know what? I really haven't. I really can't think of any. I deserve it because when funny things happen to other people, I'm the first to laugh. Like when like someone drops their guitar amp in the sea or something. I'm the first one laughing. I've seen that happen before, but no, there was. Oh no, I really haven't. There's just been that thing where you're song three into a hour and a half gig, and you suddenly realise you need the loo, and then it's just mentally trying to get through the gig, But no disaster happened. Um, or there was one time when, yes, I remember there was a party I was playing at, and the audience were really rowdy, and you could tell they were going to try and just play your instruments when you went off for a break. So I took the top of the stool off, right, they, so that no one would
No
sit
one
on
can
it.
see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or if they tried to, But the problem is, I then forgot I'd done that, and I sat on it. Yeah,
So you went back without
yeah,
the.
yeah, yeah. So I guess that's just bad, but no one really saw it, thankfully, because it was, it wasn't really a thing. But yeah, I haven't had anything.
No
I
blood.
really, I really can't think of anything
Yeah,
bad, which is really surprising.
yeah.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you haven't split any of your, so like when you're hitting the drum so hard.
I have
And,
sort of, but I've always managed to, like, I've broken bass pedals, but it's always been convenient. Like, it might be like 16 bars from the end of the gig, and you just
yeah,
like, okay, that's cool, and then, or just like, yeah, at the end of a song, and I always have a spare pedal and a spare snare drum.
yeah.
I've broken snare skins, sort of. The double, or maybe you don't. Some of them are double skinned and they're like glued together, and one half of it breaks, so you can get to the end of the song and then you
Yeah,
just swap it over quick. So,
yeah, yeah.
and sometimes the cymbal will crack, but you can get to the end of a gig. So yeah, nothing. It's all landed quite nicely for me. Yeah.
Yeah. When you do gigs, do you have support acts, or
Yes.
you
Yeah.
do? And
Generally, yeah. Nine times out of ten, and that's often the venue, someone local to the venue, comes
what
and
about
I
the
get.
drum kit? Which drum kit is it? Normally your drum kit that you use at gigs, or is it the
Yeah,
venue?
yeah, yeah. I've got one that I use with the Blockheads. Um, that just stays with the Blockheads back line. If that makes sense. And
Yeah,
then other gigs I use. I've got this one here. That one I use a lot when I'm doing gigs, whereas I don't know, local or gigs that
yeah.
aren't Blockheads. Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
let do you let other bands or the drummers use your drum kit?
No,
Are you...
no, no. Well, it doesn't really it's never really a thing. It doesn't really matter because they don't need to, because the stage is big enough for them to
Put another
have
one.
their own. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but I think it's come up once or twice. But the thing is, so they'll always fiddle with something a bit, and then you get up and you're never as comfortable. And we did have some. There was one point I remember maybe 10 years ago where we lent something and it got broke, so we just made a rule that we don't share gear, which yeah,
Oh, okay.
'cause we ended up the victims, so we don't really.
Yeah, yeah,
But like I say, we don't generally need to. Yeah,
yeah. Because it's the stage is big enough
yeah,
for
yeah,
the.
yeah,
I hope in Balik you won't have to have another band playing. I think it's gonna be
yeah.
just.
No, no, no. Yeah, we yeah. In fact, the drum kit there belongs to Mark Brzezicki. I don't know if you've interviewed
Oh
him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. His drum
Definitely.
kit's there. He's got this little
That's
Natal kit.
his.
Yeah, it's his kit. Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that. Cause oh wow. Well,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
is it?
So I've used that because with that kit, that gig, it's like a small pub. It's really tiny, and
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
actually use our backline for that gig. We just go and use the gear that's there. I
Oh
think.
god, wow.
Yeah, maybe the guitars they use, obviously, but not amps and things like that. So it's just yeah, we don't bring our crew with us for that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. God, does he have a share in Balik? Why is he? Why is it? Why is his drum kit there?
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't.
because it's the place we play belongs to a guy called Pete Barton, who's like our main agent, who books our gigs, and he also deals with Big Country. So there's like
Oh
a
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Wow.
just that kind of connection.
God,
Yeah,
you learn something new every day. See, I
yeah, yeah,
always say that. I always say, I love Mark Baziki.
yeah.
He's
He's a lovely guy.
so,
He's another really nice guy that I've met,
yeah,
from doing this, and he's just really great. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but Smash Hits used to say Mark unpronounceable,
Mm.
unpronounceable name from Big
Right,
Country, but
I can pronounce it. I still can't spell it. You know.
again, yeah. Right. Well, last question now, because I know you're really tired
I'm
from.
I'm all right. Yeah.
So, what would be your advice to aspiring drummers or musicians in general?
Yeah. My advice would be when you get an opportunity, make the most of it. So be really prepared because everyone gets an opportunity at some point. So just be really prepared so that you do your best and
Yeah, yeah,
do you deserve that? Make the best of that opportunity. Um,
yeah,
that would be it. Yeah. Always learn the songs. If it's drummers, make sure you play at the right tempo. That's always you're going to get hired if I hear a lot of stories. Oh, everything was too fast, and it's play at the play at the right tempo. That's your job. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. What about? I remember. I always don't think about this one because I remember when Stephen Morris was on the show and then I asked him for advice. He said, uh, "Go and get a good pair of shoes."
yeah,
Is that?
yeah,
So what pair of shoes do you use when you play drum?
yeah. I just use my trainers. Yeah, yeah.
Does it make a difference though? Whatever
Oh,
shoes
it
you're.
does. Like when I was younger, I used to do these gigs like with a bow tie. Like I don't know, it's like playing on brushes at some posh thing, playing.
Yeah,
And I remember I'd have my like suit shoes on. It's awful, like trying to play in like business workman's shoes. So most drummers maybe would walk on stage with those and then put something a bit more comfortable on that you can feel
yeah,
a bit better.
yeah.
So yeah, shoes does make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also another thing that I remember as an advice, pace yourself because you don't want to be so doing really fast and then getting yourself tired the
yeah,
first
yeah,
after three songs and
yeah,
then
yeah,
by the rest of it.
yeah. We do the third song in the set. It's called "Sink My Boats." It's off one of the main albums, Do It Yourself, and that's quite hard work. And the third
Yeah,
song, I think, gosh, I've done a gig already, you know. But then I think the fourth song's a bit easier, so I recover a bit. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I know that
'Cause,
feeling.
I mean, although the musician, I know it's. I'm not saying that it's hard. It's easy for the guitarist or the singer or thing, but it's the drummer who actually has to exert all these effort and all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
energy. It's not like you're just. I mean, there are songs where you have brushes and it's quite
yeah,
easy. It's almost like you're just cooking or something
yeah, 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 yeah.
when you
Stir in the
play
pudding. Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But when it's like a proper, rock and things. It's just the energy from the drummer. It's too much.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes, oh my God. And I can understand why sometimes the drummers don't want to come out and say, hello to the fans.
yeah. I mean, I think it's just though it's like training for anything, like if I'm gigging every week, I'm fine. If I don't play for 3 weeks,
Yeah,
then I'll feel it, on a gig. Um, yeah, so if you're doing it regularly, it's fine.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's if you. I remember years ago when I was playing for Wilco Johnson a lot more. He he would have these binges where he'd do nothing, and then you'd go and do 4 nights in a row, and then you'd do nothing for a month, and then four in a row, and I'd end up with blisters. I'm not a blister kind of drummer, but I was when I was playing for him. Just like your body's not used to it, and then because even with practicing, I don't know what it is, but quite often you're just not quite giving the same intensity when you practice as live. Maybe that's just me, but it's what I find.
right. Okay, we're live again.
Yeah.
I am so sorry about that. Sorry to everyone who was watching the show. Just as we were about to say goodbye to each other as well. And then all of a sudden that glitch
Yeah, there's this
happened.
glitchy sound like Max Headroom, we called it, and it started, and
Yeah.
I knew there was no rescuing it.
No, I think it's because I could hear that someone was trying to ring us, and it
Ah,
it goes into the computer as well. Maybe that's what it is. But like I said, we tried sorting
yeah,
it out, but we still couldn't figure out what's wrong with it. But anyways,
yeah,
so I wanted to say massive thank you to Vicky Richardson for the introduction, and I am really hoping that I'll get to see the Blockheads. I get to see you in the Blockheads someday,
mhm.
and get a photograph with you as well.
Brilliant.
And so the new single by the Blockheads, going to be part of the Record Store Day
Yeah,
this year. So do keep an eye out for that. And would you like to just invite everyone to your gigs,
yeah,
especially the one in Deal with, oh my God, with Topper Hidden?
yes, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, just keep an eye on the blockheads.com, the live page. But yeah, this Saturday we're at Deal. I think it's the Astor Theatre, I think it's called. And yeah, we're playing, and Topper Heden's doing some percussion. And
yeah,
then that's it for a few weeks. Then we've got some gigs up north. Well, up north for me in March. Got quite a lot going on in March, and then
yeah,
festivals throughout the summer. Yeah, be good.
yeah. I'm surprised that it's not sold out yet. Have you actually promoted it as having Topper Hidden and
No, no,
playing?
not till now. Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe if you did it, like people would just stop buying tickets and it's all like because
Yeah. Might see an uptick tonight. Yeah. Yeah, the theatre we play a lot. We do it every couple of years or so. It's a good little gig.
yeah.
Very very high stage, but yeah, just like an old theatre in a seaside town, really. Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's very good. And again, thank you for telling me that Mark Bazika's kit is actually the ones that they use it.
Yeah.
Bollock. That's how. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how they pronounce it. Because when I went there, I was all like talking to the people there, and then they said, "Oh, you say it Bollock. Now you're from what's a Ballica or something like
Yeah.
that." Well, thank you so much,
Oh, that's
John.
all right. Thanks for
Um,
having me. Enjoyed it.
no,
Thank you.
I really enjoyed chatting to you, and hopefully someday they're right. Like I've seen on social media that people love you, and
Oh,
yeah, that you really are nice. You're one of the nicest musicians, actually.
great. Well,
Nice
thanks. I'll
musicians
take
we have.
that.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, and see you hopefully someday.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely. Thank
all
you
right.
so much.
Yeah, thanks,
Cheers. Bye
John.
bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. See ya,
Bye.
and have an awesome week.
Yes.
So
You
it's gonna
too.
be yeah. All right. See ya.
Cheers. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. I'm so sorry that glitch happened again. Um, It's just one of those things, when you do live shows. But yeah, at least it doesn't happen every time we do Ask the Drummer. But for those who missed it, for those who missed the live shows, I'm gonna upload it on YouTube without the glitch. Of course, it's gonna be like a seamless one, just one video. So thank you so much once again, John Roberts, absolutely amazing. And I really have to go and see the Blockheads. So that one in Deal this Saturday. If I could, I would be there. I'll get the bus to London and then to Dover, but I can't because Saturdays for me is like a working day. Saturday is like a King Bee day for me, so I can't really just not do my work. I've also got a gig to go to on Saturday anyway, so it's going to be a really busy week for me. But anyways, thank you all so much for joining us. And as always, love music, love life, love drummers. We've seen one of the nicest drummers we've ever met here on Ask the Drummer, John Roberts. Thank you so much. They're just so cool. I wish I could. Yeah. I really love drummers so much. But yeah, hopefully you'll be back next Sunday. It's going to be on Sunday again, and it's going to be an early one, a regular slot at 2 o'clock, or maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, something like that. But it's going to be on Sunday afternoon. So hope to see you all again soon. And do keep an eye out for the guest announcement post on the Ask the Drummer page on Facebook. So that's all for me for now. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye for now. Bye.